What is going on, guys? Matt Downs with Daily Grind Fantasy Sports to help give you the edge for this NBA 2-game playoff slate on DraftKings. Cannot wait to break it down. If you guys are brand new to this channel, we provide both free and paid content for all daily fantasy sports across all sports. If you could please show your support by hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, and of course smashing that like button for all of our future NBA content. If you would like to know more about becoming a better DFS player and taking down that big GBP, head over to www.patreon.com/DGFantasy for more information. On Patreon, we give advanced cheat sheets for all DFS sports on DraftKings. These cheat sheets include updated projections, ownership, and our overall favorite plays from slate to slate. We take it a step further by teaching you how to play fantasy sports like a shark, by showing you where the best leverage spots are to put you in the best spots to take down tourneys. Also included is our private Discord chat where you get to talk over the slate with everyone, including our coaches, to help build your lineups. Now let's go ahead and dive right into this NBA 2-game slate, but first we have to go over some Patreon success on DraftKings. Last night we had a first place finish out of 1.4k, guys. $5 turned into $124.68. Looks like he split the winnings there, but nonetheless a great overall lineup construction. Mike James, Kyrie Irving, Bruce Brown, Blake Griffin, some of these guys were in our core, and it looks like he got different here with Giannis and Ayton, double center spots here with Blake Griffin. Going down, we had some more SuperDraft success, cashing all of his lineups, made $130 there. We had some close takedown success yet again, small GBPs all the way around, something we highly recommend on our Discord chat. $5 turned into 28, $12 turned into 20, $5 turned into 15. We had some more close takedowns and some showdown success. We had some more success. Looks like a winner take all, $1 into $100 there on DraftKings. Another $100 screenshot. We had some more success in MLB. Looks like a $20 winner there. And then here was some of my success. Took down the small GBP in NBA. Turned $40 into 250. Not as good as the other member that scored 280 points, but really, really close. And then we had, this was also my screenshot, $121 turned into $400, $50 turned into $350, and some more SuperDraft success. I can keep scrolling, guys, but if you guys want to be a part of this growing, amazing community, only $20 a month gives you access to all that, so much more. We have League of Legends cheat sheets now, CSGO, if you guys are looking for something extra to play in terms of DFS. We have SuperDraft projections. We also have prize pick projections, the percentage chance on whether they hit the over or under according to our projections. All those are included in the $20. Like I said, guys, a great community all the way around. Let's go ahead and focus on this NBA slate. And this slate is definitely not straightforward. Unlike last night where we were able to load up on the Nets value and then pivot in other spots and pick up options like Giannis, like Devin Booker, you can't really get different here on the slate because we have a lot of pending injury news that will definitely break the slate wide open. Here with Atlanta, we have DeAndre Hunter. He is questionable. If he is ruled out, it's going to give some minutes to guys like Solomon Hill, like Gallinari. So a lot of these role players will get extended run, again, pending that injury news from DeAndre Hunter. With Philadelphia, we have Joel Embiid. He is questionable. They did drop game 1, so they will need Joel Embiid to play in this contest. I do believe he's going to play, and he should be playing the full minutes. So we expect about 35 plus minutes from Joel Embiid. Last but not least, we have the Clippers versus Utah. Serge Ibaka is doubtful. We're going to expect him to sit out. Should be missing about 1 to 2 more games before he can suit up and finally start playing here in the playoffs. So that will do a little bit to the usage here on some of these role players. And then with Utah, we have Mike Conley questionable. If Mike Conley is ruled out, that's going to shift this roster all the way around, give a usage boost to some of these bench players like Jordan Clarkson. Also, Joe Ingles should get a nice little usage boost. And really, all these guys should get a slight boost here in minutes if Mike Conley is held out. So that will definitely impact the slate. If there are some slate-breaking injury news that do come out a little bit later on in the slate, I will pin a post in the YouTube comment section below so that you guys stay updated and that we are on top of the game. Also, we will be doing a live before lock a little bit later in the day. We went live around 6:15, about 6 to 6:15, depending on when TJ gets home from his full-time job. We will be going live to break down all that slate-breaking injury news. Hopefully, we get that before lock. This game does tip off at 10 o'clock, so it's going to be cutting it pretty close. But if you guys want to grab all that updated information, live before lock info and stuff, again, $20 a month. We will be updating everything in the Discord throughout the day, even after lock. All right, so let's go ahead and focus on the slate here. We're going to go ahead and pull in the Atlanta Hawks and what their price tags really look like here in terms of injuries and what the minutes look like. Right now, John Collins is the biggest lock on the slate. I think regardless of what happens in terms of injuries from this team, he has a 5.6K price tag, a 7.1 point per dollar value, and we have him pinned for 39.96 points without the likes of Cam Reddish and also Chris Dunn on the court. And over 1,000 minutes of sample size here, John Collins averages 1.12 fantasy points per minute, which I think is just crazy. Absolutely insane for a 5.6K price tag, 33 projected minutes. Like I said, we have him to hit the over of his value at about 27 points. He scored 33 last game, so I fully expect him to get a similar type of run here. Projected 33 minutes, the exact same minutes he played in the very first game. 7.1 point per dollar value is by far the best value on the slate at a 5.6K price tag. Going down the list here, Trae Young, 9.2K. He is the Atlanta Hawks. If you guys think the Atlanta Hawks are going to outscore Philly yet again, then yes, it's going to be through Trae Young. He has absolutely been crushing it. It really is matchup proof at this point. 38 projected minutes, 9.2K. Definitely don't hate him in cash games. Honestly, I might prioritize Trae Young at this point, just because if this game is going to remain competitive, which it should be, right now Philly's only favored by 5 points, then yes, Trae Young should go absolutely bananas as he's been doing throughout the entire playoffs. So 5.7 point per dollar value. Also, Clint Capella at a 7.8K price tag is also slightly undervalued. He has not been performing the best in these playoffs, however. So he is going to be carrying a little bit lower ownership. I consider him just GPP viable in his 33 projected minutes, a 5.5 point per dollar value. And then really the rest of this roster is just kind of a toss-up in terms of minutes and what we're going to be expecting, because we are still pinning that DeAndre Hunter injury news. If DeAndre Hunter does play, then yes, I do like him at this 4.1K price tag, projected 29 minutes. But even at full strength, like, he's an okay value play at 4.1K. He's only averaging 0.86 fantasy points per minute without Dunn and Reddish on the court. Comes out to a 5.4 point per dollar value. And then, like I said, the rest of these guys are just going to be GPP options pending that DeAndre Hunter injury news. Switching over to the Philly 76ers here, Joel Embiid is going to be chalkier. 10K, he is expected to play 37 projected minutes, and they need a bounce back performance from somebody like Joel Embiid. He was a very good play in game 1. He actually scored 62.7 points in 38 minutes, so we do expect him replicate that kind of game yet again. So he is going to be carrying a decent amount of ownership, projected 37 projected minutes here for the Philly 76ers. Who's next in line? Like, all these guys are just kind of priced accordingly. Ben Simmons, 8.1K, is probably my next favorite option. 5.3 point per dollar value. Averages over 1.12 fantasy points per minute. 38 projected minutes. He is expected to play more minutes than Tobias Harris. When you combine those two, they literally average the exact same fantasy points per minute. I prefer Ben Simmons over Tobias Harris, just because he does have the ball in his hands a majority of the game, and it does carry a slightly higher usage. Tobias Harris is going to be next on the list here. 8.3K, again, just GPP options all the way down. Seth Curry, 5K, just seems priced accordingly at that 33 projected minutes. Averages 0.77 fantasy points per minute, and it's the exact same thing here with Danny Green. The give and take between those two players is that Seth Curry is projected more minutes, but Danny Green is cheaper with slightly less minutes at 4.7K. So they're literally the exact same player. Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, good luck picking one of those two, and then Seth Curry, Danny Green, picking between one of those two. They're literally all the exact same kind of players. But Joel Embiid is by far my favorite play from this team and is considered cash viable. The rest of these guys are just going to fall by the wayside in terms of minutes. The next best player is Matisse Thybulle at projected 19 minutes. I just don't like the minute upside there from Thybulle. Going down, last but not least, to the LA Clippers versus Utah Jazz here. Marcus Morris is going to be my next favorite value play on the slate besides DeAndre Hunter. I think he's more consistent in terms of minutes. 31 projected minutes, 4.8K. Didn't have the best performance against Dallas 2 nights ago, and then bounced right back here. 35.75 points. I just love the amount of minutes that he really gets. He has to be aggressive. This type of game script is going to play to his game style. Marcus Morris is definitely better in good defensive matchups. They're projected to score 108 points, so I really do like the minute upside there with Marcus Morris against the Utah Jazz. They will need him in this matchup. Definitely like him, especially without Ibaka on the floor. Paul George is next best on the list here at 9K, and then Kawhi Leonard 9.9K. I think they're just priced accordingly. Nothing really thrills me about these guys, especially in this matchup versus Utah Jazz. They are primarily scorers, and they're going to have a higher usage than a lot of these other role players. And because of that, I'm just not thrilled about these price tags. I would like to see them, you know, at 8K. Earlier in the playoffs is what we saw them at versus the Mavericks. I think you're going to continue to see these price tags go down because these guys are just going to continue to underperform at that value point of 9 and 9.9K. Batum is also a good role player that I do like in this matchup. Just in terms of minutes, is also projected 31 minutes, the exact same as Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris is slightly more productive in those given minutes, but I also like Batum as a last piece here. Provides a good amount of minutes for that price tag at 4.6K. And then the rest of these guys are just going to be GPP options. We saw Man go absolutely ballistic in the last game, so maybe they give him extended run. Reggie Jackson is always hit or miss, and same thing with Kennard. So all these role players are just GPP options in my opinion. Last but not least are the Utah Jazz themselves here. Rudy Gobert is at a very good price tag. I definitely like the 7.9K, and I do expect he's going to be relatively chalky just given the matchup there versus Zubac and the rest of these lackluster bigs from the Clippers. 34 projected minutes comes out to a 5.5 point per dollar value, and it is by far my favorite play from the Utah Jazz. And the rest of these guys are just going to be GPP options. But Donovan Mitchell, one thing I want to talk about in terms of Donovan Mitchell is he's been going absolutely ballistic since he's been back here. Starting for the Utah Jazz, has a 40.2, 45.1, and a 29.4% usage rate. So his ceiling, or his floor rather, is at 30% usage. I absolutely love the amount of usage we're getting from Donovan Mitchell, and his price tag hasn't been adjusted. So Donovan Mitchell is definitely cash viable in my opinion. I like the matchup here for the Utah Jazz more so than I like the matchup from the LA Clippers side. So Donovan Mitchell, you're getting some superstar power there, 8.2K. Love it here. 5.1 point per dollar value. Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert are by far my favorite cash options from this team. But the rest of this team really depends on whether Mike Conley's going to play or not, because Bogdanovich is going to get a boost in usage. Same thing with O'Neal. Joe Ingles at 4.9K should be an auto lock, just projected at about 30 plus minutes or so. Jordan Clarkson's going to get a nice little bump. So all these guys are going to come into play depending on if Mike Conley plays. But even if he does, I still love Donovan Mitchell at his high usage rate. Same thing with Rudy Gobert at that price tag at 7.9K. So that will wrap up my breakdown, guys. Let's go ahead and go over to the prize picks board. After this, I will construct a lineup. What will I do? What I've been doing is putting together a core, giving you guys like my overall mindset when constructing a lineup and what general direction to go in terms of cash, small GPPs, and even big GPPs, and good ways to differentiate yourself. But let's focus on prize picks. If you guys haven't signed up for prize picks, I don't know what you're doing. 100% match up to $100 when using the code DGF. We give away free prize picks every single video on our live stream and our premium picks inside our Discord for only $20 a month. That being said, my favorite option on the slate is going to be John Collins. Right now, he's at 28 fantasy points. We haven't projected about 36 fantasy points for tonight's game. Absolutely love the over. We have him hitting the over about 60% of the time, according to our models. So John Collins is my favorite over pick on prize picks. Let's now focus on our lineup construction. Heading over to the DraftKings board here. Let's put together my lineup. I think John Collins is the biggest lock on the slate. Let's go ahead and slide him into that power forward position at $5,600. Just way too cheap in my opinion. Joel Embiid would probably be next up, but I know that there's a lot of stud pay-up options, so I'm going to focus on the value plays before I slide in some of these other players. DeAndre Hunter, I will say if he plays, I do like that 4.1K price tag. Same thing with Marcus Morris. So I'm going to go ahead and put those guys in there. Hunter, Morris, and then I also really like Batum as my other value play. Again, value plays are not easy to come by on the slate. So right now we have Hunter, Collins, Marcus Morris, and Nick Batum as our value plays. I also really like Gobert in terms of his matchup and value. And then I also like Donovan Mitchell. So, can't spell Donovan apparently. All right, 7.4K left here to decide where our last pieces are. Let's go ahead and try to get Joel Embiid in there and see what we end with. Curious on what that could look like. I don't think I can because I can't put any more centers there. Okay. So, Batum. Does Batum not play? Oh, he doesn't play guard. Okay. So I'm looking for two guards, huh? All right, let's go to the guards. Trae Young. Let's put Trae Young in, see what that does. Young. $5,600 left for shooting guard. Reggie Jackson, Royce O'Neal. I definitely like Royce O'Neal if Mike Conley sits. I don't mind that, actually. Oh, I'm looking for a guard. Oops. Seth Curry is the last piece, but that leaves me with $600. So let's switch this up. Let's get Trae Young out of here. Let's put in Paul George. Yeah, let's see what that gives me. Paul George at 9K. 5.8 for Jordan Clarkson. I can tell you what, I'd absolutely love this lineup if Mike Conley sits. So that's another option we could go. Let's actually get rid of Batum real quick. Get rid of Batum. Let's look for another value play because I want to open up some value here for Embiid. Embiid, 47 left over. Let's go Seth Curry. Why not? Do what Seth Curry. Seth Curry and then a guard for $4,400. Can we even go that low? Cam Reddish. Herter. That's not bad. So if DeAndre Hunter sits, then Kevin Herter, that's a great spot. No, I actually like that lineup a lot. Assuming that Hunter does sit. And he's honestly, I think he's leaning more towards the doubtful side just because he's been questionable recently. And he didn't play last game. So I really do like that lineup. I think it's a great GBP lineup. It mixed in with some cash, some good options to differentiate yourself. Yeah, I think this has some very good upside. And hopefully you guys did enjoy this content. If you did, please do hit that subscription button, notification bell, and of course smash that like button for all of our future NBA content. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day, and let's get.